Have you ever had one of those days where you intended to get a lot done, and at the end of the day, you're actually wondering, where did all my time go? Well, you're definitely not alone, and today we're going to talk about some of the more common, in fact, at least 10 different reasons that could be stopping you from your ideal productivity level or success. So the first 3 mistakes I like to classify in the reactive category versus the intentional category. And we're talking about number 1, immediately as soon as you wake up, grabbing for your phone, scrolling on social media, checking and responding to voicemail, email, not necessarily the best way to start your day. Number 2 would be going down the internet rabbit hole or listening to the news. Definitely important to stay in the know as to what's going on. However, again, not the most positive way to start your day. Number 3, as you get into work mode, responding immediately to calls, to emails. Yes, it's important to be responsive, but letting that dictate how you're starting your day is a whole different thing. And so a couple things you can do instead are to intentionally, maybe even the evening before, figure out where you want to spend your time. Obviously, you need to get ready for the day, build in some routines, but we're talking about maybe a couple minutes of meditation, a couple minutes of journaling or reading or one of the above, but something that's gonna really feed your soul and not have you be in reactive mode. Or I know some folks where they tackle their first priority of the day first thing as soon as they have their cup of coffee, and then they go about their day doing what they need to do. Mistake number 4 is not giving yourself the gift of white space or creative space for you to do some thinking. And I know it sounds like who has time for thinking, but you'd be amazed to see what can actually happen, the progress that you'll make on different projects, the new ideas that come through when you allow a little bit of that space on your calendar. Number 5 would be overbooking your calendar and not leaving time for breaks or downtime. Number 6 is your self-talk. And that's pretty important. So that's all the thoughts that you're thinking or what you say to yourself when you do talk to yourself. And if that's in the not serving, not supportive, or negative category, that definitely adds to additional stress, overwhelm, and again, is not necessarily helping you get to where you want to go. Number 7 is a pretty common one. And this is just thinking that you are being productive by picking the low-hanging fruit item to do just so you could check it off of your checklist. And I get it. It feels good to check off those check boxes. You get a little rush of, some positive endorphins, which is nice for the moment. However, in the long run, is it really an activity that's moving the needle forward for you in terms of what you intend to do and what your priorities are? And that leads us to number 8. You're not really sure what your actual priorities are. And if that is the case, no problem. Not a lot of people have that front of mind, which is okay. I highly recommend doing the guide on how to focus on your priorities. It's in the link below, completely complimentary. It'll give you an idea of aligning your values with what's important to you and figuring out some different ways to make sure that you're focusing on those. Number 9, you're not setting boundaries and you're not communicating effectively as to what those boundaries are. If you're curious more on the subject of boundaries, I do have 2 separate videos, a part 1 and a part 2, that talk about boundaries. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more. Number 10, you didn't set the intention that that's what you actually set out to do. And even though it's similar to priorities, it's a little bit different in that I almost like to describe it as the fire, the internal fire within you that's motivating you to take action. And if you're not on target with that, directed at your priorities, and you don't have the intention behind doing what you need to do to accomplish that, that has to be really strong for you not to get pulled into other directions and be really distracted. So one final thought and some good news, which is it's really easy to get distracted and off track. It happens to the best of us. And really having the tools to be able to recenter yourself, get yourself back on track, really start moving more quickly toward your goals. It's all very possible. And the good news is there's support, there's encouragement, there's accountability for all of that. And if that is something you want to go deeper on or want to work on some of, avoiding some of these mistakes, happy to help and be a resource for you. Encourage you to book a discovery call with me if that's useful to you. Also have some other freebies on my website, which are free daily happiness formula. It's a great way to start your day right. And also have, again, that free guide on how to focus on your priorities. I really appreciate you watching, and please do like and subscribe if helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.